we have with us the evergreen DJ Bobby Ker.
Because it's retro, no? So evergreen you have to use.
I have to, na, have to. Well, you have the reputation of being one of, if not the best retro DJ in India. So
Thank you.
it goes without saying. So Bobby, tell us what have you been up to? How has this entire year been for you so far?
So last year was very good, earning wise. But this year also was good. I mean, it was quite relaxed. But the problem, I don't know, somehow in this year, I don't know whether it's really changed, I should call it, or I don't know. But the owners, before this could come in, I found that people who had given me nights in their clubs, a little disturbed, I don't know why.
Oh.
So, but for me, to tell you frankly, I mean, after this thing even started, I spend a lot of time with myself.
Okay.
I normally was not doing. I was probably giving out more time, otherwise. When I was working, I would go to work, I would party till late sometimes, and go out with friends, dedicate myself more time outside. You know what I mean? Like, even work-wise also. But now I've gone inside of me, like I started with this thing starting, I had a lot of time to actually reinvent myself, a lot of brainstorming. I mean, I learned so many things about my own self that I didn't know, and things are going pretty happy actually. I'm doing a lot of production work at home. You can see my studio behind me.
So Bobby, you said that you've learned quite a lot, and not just on a personal level, but also on a professional level, So we would really love to know, what is it that this phase of self-isolation and quarantine and whatever you may call it, what are the things that you have learned?
When this thing started, I first few days I was a little confused.
Okay.
But then what happened was, first few days I was confused, but I was still happy. But the one of the week was really depressing for me. In the beginning I was fine, but what happens is, it was taking time for me to adjust to this situation. It takes time to get adjusted, right? It's human nature.
Correct.
So I think many people are depressed now also, but for mine it was like 7 days. I was like wondering to myself, so now what? Is it going to be fine? Am I going to be fine? Is my family going to be fine, and this and that? But after that, I have learned this one thing in life about converting your bad times or your low times into a blessing. So I started thinking what I should really, bounce back and make it better than before. So I started working on my sets. I started working on my studio work, which I could not do all this time, because of certain reasons and because of laziness as well. I love to call myself lazy, man. I love being lazy. But when the time comes, then you have to. So I felt that now my time has come, to start my studio work. And I'm actually getting somewhere, because I wrote every other question down and some in the mind. And I kept on asking Google or YouTube. I saw videos on YouTube and how to operate this software, Ableton, how to get there, whatever questions I had in my mind. And I'm making my tracks now. I mean, it's a surprise for me, that I've actually started going ahead in life. Then I also started thinking that, what people wanted from me, like what my friends, my fans, what they always told me. I never thought about that so seriously, but now I sat down and I started thinking, and they would always tell me that I look underdressed. So then I started thinking that the meaning of that, then I thought to myself, and I said, like, I am trying to be too simple. I might be complicated in my music, in my delivery as a DJ, that style in the music, but as an appearance wise, I thought that I should do something, about my clothing, about my hair, or whatever, even about my attitude. Simple. So I thought that, how to change that. So I'm working on that as well. I've also been working on my sets. So how to make it different, because everywhere I play, they always call me for retro. It's not that I play only retro, but retro is my USP now. So I have to work on my retro sets, I feel sometimes, because I know people want the same thing, all the time, because some of them would say that sometimes you play the same set, and I'm like, okay, fine. So I'll change it, and I changed it. And the same people came and told me, "Arey, you didn't play Chaya Chaya, you didn't play this one, you didn't play that one. What happened to you today?" So I told him,
Okay.
"You only told me." And he used to
Right.
tell me all the time that, you're playing the same set. So you want the same songs, but you're telling me now why I didn't play those songs. I didn't play it and I played a different set. So then
Right.
I'm thinking that what I should be doing now. Why
Uh-huh.
is that happening? How
Correct.
to at a different, in a different level, in a different way, so that
Right.
they still listen to the songs, but they don't feel that they are listening to the same song.
Okay. So, Bobby, could you explain to us a little bit in detail what you've done in terms of learning the softwares and learning, new techniques and stuff like that? You mentioned about Ableton just some time ago.
Right.
So, if you could just take us through that process along with Ableton, what else have you come across, if there's anything?
Ableton came to me long time back when, in the 90s, I think, when it was introduced, basically, it came to me. My friends who are into production, they told me that, start with Ableton. And I got it, but I somehow didn't end up doing anything about it. I just kept on focusing on my playing side,
Okay.
and in spite of learning also, still I was not getting there.
Okay.
Okay. Ableton, you can do a lot of things. I think people are really not using the potential that Ableton is offering.
Okay.
And I started thinking that I can do this, man. I really can do this.
Okay.
And why it came in my mind, I will tell you also. It's not no offense to anybody, but
Hmm.
I think Indian remixes are stuck somewhere. You know,
Okay.
they are stuck. There is a loss of, no doubt that there are superb mixes, there are superb DJs, and I play many of those mixes. In my days, but they are stuck on one beat right now, I feel. Okay,
Okay.
and I think it should start to evolve a little more. There is a lot
Okay.
of talent. The DJs need to learn, who are doing production themselves.
Hmm.
Not all of them, but many of them actually learn a few techniques which are there in Ableton. You can do a
Okay.
lot of things in that. Lot of
Okay.
things.
Okay.
Like for example, there'll be a one riff of a guitar, and people are like, "Oh my god!" Like kind of sweet child of mine.
Correct.
That one riff that starts the song,
Right.
that has stayed in the mind. There have been 100 mixes of that riff only. Forget about the song.
Right.
This
Right.
is what the producer has to learn this.
Okay. So,
It's not about, it's not compulsory to go with a format which starts with a song and then have a drop in between.
right.
That drop style is not compulsory. It's a format.
Correct.
You can break that format. When you learn an instrument also, there are a lot of courses on breaking the 12 bar blues, because everybody is going with that. So there is a course on breaking how to break that and still give your music the proper shape, and you deliver it to the crowd and they will love it.
So, have you managed to get anywhere with this particular methodology of producing music, like
Mm.
breaking the 12 bar? Have you managed to get to a good enough place, either using Ableton or using any of your other softwares?
100%.
Lovely, lovely.
100%. So for example, I am getting a lot of house in my remixes, a lot of house music, house
Right.
styles, tribal, funky, Latin. So what I do is, I have so much time now that I listen to a lot of that kind of music.
Okay.
Suppose if I am doing a Latin house mix, then I listen to a lot of Latin house music,
Okay.
because there have been so many tracks and so many good tracks, and I can actually get inspired from there.
All
So
right.
imagine that you get into that atmosphere, in your mind. That thing enters your brain, and then you make that music. It's
Okay.
much simpler, and you can never go wrong with that.
So, along with these particular softwares that you were talking about, is there any particular hardware, like piece of hardware that you have recently read about online?
Hardware, to tell you frankly, I have been using, for you. You mean to play music or you mean to produce music?
Both.
Okay, to play music, I use a Denon MC 6000 Mark II. Okay, that's my mixer. It's a freestanding mixer as well as it's a controller. It's
Right.
heavy, but I carry it everywhere. Okay,
Wow.
so
Lovely.
I'm going to use that only
Okay.
because I'm like married to that mixer. apart from my wife. And I'm also married to virtual DJ, which I used to play.
Okay.
Okay. Now, again, there is another thing going on in the market always. Okay, that there are very few like leading DJ softwares, right?
Right.
So there is a virtual DJ, there is Serato, and there is Record Box. I'm a virtual DJ guy. Okay, so that's the hardware about that is MC6000. That's going to stay. I tried everything. Okay, virtual DJ works with everything. You can use any controller.
Right.
It's a software company, so it has to work with all the controllers, right?
Right.
So
Right.
6000 is going to stay. Okay. Over here in my DJing here, I mean the production part of it, I am having focal monitors,
Okay.
CMS50, okay, which are packed over here and kept and I have I have this Rocket here, okay, Rocket 6, and I have an Adam subwoofer here down below near my legs.
Wow.
Yeah, so I bought Adam. I had an RCF before.
Okay.
And,
wow, that's quite a shift actually. From an RCF to an Adam, like.
Oh, RCF! I'm a fan of RCF, man. Trust me.
No. So that's what. But the tonal signature in both is very different.
100%.
Yes. So
now, what focals are packed and kept. Now, the reason I will tell you what happened, through this hardware journey, that I was using focals and I shifted in this room. I was in the other room before, and then I gave it to my kids now because they're growing up. So I shifted here, and I changed my woofer from RCF. RCF was very good, very powerful, very nice, and I think every DJ should have that kind of subwoofer. It has got a lot of boost. It boosts your mid highs also, along with the output from there. But the thing is, I feel that high end monitors means you have to have a treated room.
correct.
The more high end you go, the more treated room you need. Otherwise, you should not waste your money in that. So you're talking about serious monitors. Boss, you need at least 10 lakhs to treat your room and to buy those monitors. And if you've reached that level, then only you're going to like that flat sound. Today's DJs, they won't like it. When you start working, you use normal monitors, they will sound better than the expensive monitors if your room is not treated.
Right.
So I kept my focal there, and I'm using this Rocket 6. And actually, this Adam subwoofer, I bought it, and I was going to buy Adam monitors, which I already got it from my friend to check over here. Okay. And I checked them with this thing, and I didn't like the sound. And that's nothing wrong with Adam, but the room is not treated.
Correct.
And I always, then I said like, focal, abhi kya karo? I was confused. So then I said like, no, I'll buy Rocket, the basic monitor, because I really like them. And I've seen many people using them, when I see tutorials and everything, I see all of them using, like Ed Sheeran has got Rocket 5 in his setup when he's talking and giving the interview, and he said he composed the song there. So these things are to get inspired, no?
Right.
I mean, why is it there? So then I got the Rocket 6 and I'm very happy with it. So no doubt that I want to upgrade as usual. Okay, I want to do a lot of this. But I'm happy right now, as of now. I would advise anybody who wants to buy monitors, go and get a monitor, even if it's slightly with colored sound, it doesn't matter. Go listen to the monitor. You have to like the sound because, boss, you're going to produce the sound. Right. You can always use a reference track in your software and get the kind of sound close to that, that your favorite track which you are listening to.
Right.
You should not be spending on a very high expensive monitors. Okay. Then the other thing about hardware we were talking, it's about my computer.
Right.
Which was giving a lag even before this also, before the lockdown started. If I would add too many tracks, in my mix, then it was lagging, man. I mean, I'm pressing the key and it's not coming. Ableton is like freezing. So now, how, like I said, now if you ask and you say, "Isme blessing kya nikal sakta hai?" I started making mixes with fewer tracks.
Okay.
So earlier I was like pushing everything, and it used to be like, oh my god, like where was I?
Correct.
So now I'm doing that with fewer tracks. So now what happens is that with those fewer tracks, those lags are not there. So I'm learning how to use it with lesser resources,
right,
on the computer. So now that is a blessing, because then what happens is things are simplified now, because instead of having 30, 40 tracks, I'm working with like 10 tracks and managing, And I found out a way where, you know, you can 10 tracks, you can use 20 tracks also actually. There's a way to do it.
Oh, okay. Lovely.
So all these things have come up like that. You come to that point where you know that, you know, you can work with the shittiest things in the world and you can still produce more, you know.
Well, it all depends on the perspective, right? Because if you are focused on making some good work, you'll make anything work.
Yeah,
So,
but I mean, I'm just saying that, you know, we always think that, oh my God, I need this. Oh my God, I need that. I can't do without this. I can't do without that. But,
right.
you know, with this thing coming, I've just come to know that, you know, I could have done a lot of things. I mean, all this time, you know,
Correct.
and I'm just going so fast right now.
Let's speak a little bit about the kind of research that you've been doing into new music. You know, you spoke about checking out different tracks, checking out stuff in dancehall, Latin, all these other different genres of music. So, in fact, I was speaking to Clement about this some time ago, and he said that, you know, all of us DJs, musicians should take the time to go back in time and revisit the older music, because there's always something good and there's something new to learn
Right.
in those pieces of music. So, you know, what is your take about this?
The thing is, to be contemporary, you have to refer to the old ones only,
Right.
basically. Because what has happened, see, in the olden times, talking about the olden times, you know, rock and roll was a super hit then, you know, that was a genre which was like everywhere in the world. Okay.
Right.
And then by mistake, somebody played the lead guitar, and by mistake, you know, there was some strange sound came out with distortion. And then that's how rock music was born. So today also, when you see, you know, there are whatever the sounds are available, and you know, they are all retro based. They will always mention retro over there somehow, or classical or something like that. You know, house synths, classical synths. So
Right.
then you have to take those sounds and tweak them. If you
Correct.
want them ready-made, they are available. But then what do you do then? You know, if you're everybody, like, see this beat, dancehall beat or reggaeton and mumbaton that is being used by all the DJs now.
Hmm.
You know, what is the tweaking that they are doing? That's what is making it very common. You know, that there can see that is tuck, 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 tuck. This is one beat, but there is,
Correct.
you can modify that beat and make you know what I mean? There can be a
Correct.
lot of variations. So
Right.
why those remixes are sounding the same? Because they are using the same template.
Okay.
And we are making the remixes. I'm not talking about all. Again, they are superb DJs. I'm telling you. I mean, I don't, please hold me up on this point. I'm telling all the DJs.
Not at all.
I'm
Huh.
my opinion. I'm voicing my opinion. That's why I'm here. So I'm just saying
Right.
that that beat can be modified. No, so what is happening? People are having the same template. So whenever they want to remix a song, they take that song, use that template, that beat dal diya, tak, 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 then uske baad mein one drop dal diya. You know, they're
Right.
using a standard format.
Correct.
So that's why all the music is sounding the same. I have been to clubs and then I stopped going to listen to a few DJs because start to finish there's only that one only beat playing towards the end, and
Okay.
only the songs are changing and the elements are changing. See, the difference between us and the foreign DJs is that they are very creative. They don't get influenced by outside. They do it in their house, you know, so they do with their intelligence. And in
Correct.
India also, a lot of people are doing that. We have to be innovative, no?
Right.
In India, when something comes, it stays for 10 years. Like, you know, almost 10 years it stays in India. Like, for example, when the remixes started, of course, Akbar is a legend. And what he did in the beginning, Akil and everybody, you know, salutes, hats off to them, Suketu, whatever. But after
Correct.
that, you know, when that electro thing came in, you know, like, tang, 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 that went on for 10 years. After that, then there came this EDM came. EDM stayed for about 5 to 7 years. Still, a few people are doing EDM. Now this
Right.
dancehall Mumbai has come. So, you know, the people are just using the same format.
Correct.
Why retro was so huge and why people refer to those sound? There was a lot of harmonies in that. A lot of people putting color in the music. One guy is playing the guitar. He's got his own mind working on that. One guy is playing the bass, own mind working on that. Here, what is happening is one person has to do everything.
Right.
One person with the limitation of the mind, you know, you cannot create a different baseline every time and different beat every time and different. So you have to learn those things, no?
Correct.
You have
Okay.
to, so then now with the times evolving, you have a reference. You have
Right.
YouTube at your feet. I mean, it's like God coming and telling you, you wanted this, make now. That's what I am learning now. I'm still telling you, I am learning that way only.
Right.
And
Okay.
now this sound I've heard now, how to create that sound. I heard this percussion. This is going to work with my Latin mix. So how to take that percussion and use that loop there.
Okay.
Not only that, you listen to your sound and hear the loop along with it when you're selecting the loop. Now, what else you want in life?
Bobby, if we were talking about this whole process of learning, uh, I'm pretty sure a lot of DJs right now have the same this whole conundrum that they are facing and they are battling with. Is that how do I reinvent myself? How do I find what is something new, and how can I ensure that I don't stray too far from what has got me that popularity in the first place?
Okay. So, earlier I was more of a professional and not a businessman, but then I incorporated a few skills, looking at my own self. And I feel that anybody can follow that, Like, for example, I wanted to reintroduce English retro. Okay. And now what happened was with time, I switched over to Bollywood retro. So they all were calling me for Bollywood retro. So this can happen with any style actually. But what happens is that you give an offer to the clubs. Okay. I went and offered to clubs and I said that I will do English retro at a special price. So you have to compromise somewhere, right? Because you're reinventing yourself and introducing the other side of you, which people don't know. Right? Not only that, even for that matter, this retro Bollywood, a lot of people, unless they try it, they don't know what is going to be, how this is going to be in their club, whether it'll work or not, all those things. So what I did was, in fact, before this, I had come up with an offer just in this January. See, when you think of these things, because when you're a little low on your work, then you start thinking of the alternative. So, I thought, okay, what I should do now, because I want to explore new places. I want to do it. So what I did was I spoke to a few owners and I said, like, your first show, I will do it at your price.
Okay.
First show, I will do it at your price. This is about Bollywood retro. So that I thought that, I would add a few places to my profile, so that I played. Now I was playing for 5 places, but I have 30 more places I played in this year. That's the thing. And then retro ke liye, I dropped my rate and I spoke to a few bars and, we were supposed to start all these things this month and that's when it got locked down.
Right.
So, you have to evolve. I feel, you have to evolve. Now that everything is reset, now it's like when you get in there, you can really do a lot of things. You can probably change that Mumbaton reggaeton style and do something else, play some other mixes.
Correct.
This is the time to search for them.
What would your suggestion be to the younger generation of DJs who are looking forward to get to work, as soon as this lockdown period ends or as soon as the industry starts to open up again? What is your suggestion to them?
The main thing what they should be doing now, as of talking about now, is like they should sharpen their skills. I'll tell you a short, very, very short story. There is an employer and there is a woodcutter. Now this guy cuts 10 trees a week, and then there comes a time when he has to produce more, the employer, so he gets one more woodcutter, and that woodcutter is very efficient. Where this guy cuts 10 trees, he cuts 50 trees. So this guy who's young, and that guy who cuts 50 trees is old. And this guy is much more stronger, but then, he cuts more trees. So he's like, one day wants to find out how come he manages to cut so many trees and gets all the perks. So he goes and asks him, like, what's it like, So he says, nothing. I cut my trees and then I sharpen my axe and I cut trees again and I sharpen my. So the difference between these two is that one was not sharpening his axe. The other one was sharpening. Every time he cut a tree, he would sharpen his axe and then cut again. So this is the time to sharpen your axe.
Okay.
And this sharpening is lifelong. It's not only because of the pandemic that you're at home. Sharpening has to be done every time. So you have to evolve. Correct. I'm trying my best to evolve. I know it's difficult sometimes, but nothing is impossible.
Right.
With this, I don't want to play only Bollywood retro now.
Right.
I can play a lot of things. I mean, Bollywood retro came 5 years back.
Correct.
Right. So, this is what the young students should be doing. Number 2, they should now, certain demands are there on DJs. Like now, a DJ should produce also, I feel, if you have to go more ahead of, the DJing side. So they should learn some kind of production software and learn to put in their own sounds and try to explain those sounds, because, and especially if you are a resident DJ, is very good for you because you are playing every night, so you can always throw your track in and try it out with the crowd, and if it doesn't go well, you can always change it, and if it works, then you should build on that. Today, a few days back, Ableton declared they are giving their software the trial version, not the trial version, the full version, as a trial for 3 months. 3 months you can use the entire software for free. So I put that link on my Facebook page for DJs to use it. I have the full version, but I'm just saying. So I put it over there, and nobody even saw it. There was no likes. Then I said, I need to put this again. Maybe they didn't see me. I put it at the wrong time. So I put it again, and I saw 6 likes. So what is happening now? Whatever goes around comes around. Everybody is using, not everybody, but many are using pirated softwares. They're using a crack version. And they expect to be paid, but when they work in the clubs, अरे मेरा पैसा नहीं दिया यार, मेरा बॉस ने अभी वो लाइसेंस के लिए पैसा भर रहा है. So he said after the license I will give. What are you doing? But you're using a pirated crack copy of Windows, okay, and then you're blaming Windows वो नहीं चल रहा है. Then you're using a crack copy of Ableton, but you want to be paid on time. So how does that work with the karma, yaar? One of my friends challenged me and asked me, like, the music that you are using in your songs, the older ones and all that, have you paid for them? Or are you using the free ones? Elton, I have all the tracks that I'm using in my retro music, all are paid for. I bought it from iTunes. I have the receipt also. So whenever I want to use a track, I buy it from iTunes. Then I take the video, I remove the audio, I recondition that track according to my today's systems, because it's retro, so it has to sound nice with the subwoofers. So I remaster it kind of. And then I get with the video. And now whatever cannot be, like if you want to use bootleg remixes which are made by DJs, you can't do anything about it. Even if you want to pay also, you can't. How much are you going to pay? Are you going to go and tell that guy, I'm paying 18 rupees on iTunes, so take these 18 rupees from me, I'm using your track in my club. You know what I mean?
Now you've given your bit of advice for the younger DJs. What would your advice be to all the nightlife, owners, the owners of bars, pubs, discotheques, and nightclubs and all?
The thing is, right now is reset. So the whole line is going to be reborn now.
Correct.
It's reborn. So it's going to take a little time. It will be a little taxing for the owners to bounce back also, because it's like opening a new place and you invested like 5 crores and you're waiting now for the returns.
Correct.
It's going to be something similar. The difference will be that the crowd and the flow of the business is going to evolve very slowly. Right. There have been a lot of overheads also for them. So they have been they are paying rent, or maybe they got a discount. You never know, but the things are going on, and this government is pushing them, like you pay the salaries. How can they pay the salaries when they are not earning? This is a different situation altogether. If they are not earning because of low business, I can understand. Then they have to. But now it's like the business is only out. I have been working with the best of the best club owners. To tell you frankly, like Nikhil Mirani is a Radio Bar, Hitesh Keswani. Then there is Kedar Shetty is a Bombay Cocktail Bar. All these people are fantabulous people. I mean, there can't be anyone better than these people.
Correct.
They have been paying on time, and I generally charge full advance, and I have been getting that from them. They are very beautiful people. I also feel that the club owners and DJs should not get desperate. Because that's not going to change anything.
Correct.
In fact, the one who's a club owner, he's of course better off than a DJ, right? He should be taking care of the DJ. Because there's a word in the market that we should do this, we should do that. What are you going to do? The traveling is not going to be there now.
Correct.
Right? Because, the traveling DJs who Bombay ka DJ, few people used to go out and play, or some people was okay, fine, we have to call this guy from Bangalore. That's not going to happen. So club owners will bounce back here. Life is going to come back to normal. It is a matter of time. The only thing is that the club owners, like the way they invested in the place earlier, they will have to invest again now to rebuild themselves. That is for sure.
Okay. So just to wrap things up, is there anything that you would like to share on any note, personal, professional, anything at all?
Let me tell you what I'm doing right now, actually, first.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
So, I'm doing my sets online, right?
Okay.
Yeah, there is a lot of demand for me to play my Chitra night, which is retro Bollywood night.
Right.
And first of all, I feel that these guys who are in charge of the copyrights, I mean, who own the copyrights, not in charge of, but people who own the copyrights, like
Hmm.
companies like Warner, Sony, T-Series,
Right.
or whatever, Novex, whoever it is, they should relax the license right now.
Correct.
Because what's happening is so many DJs are playing on Facebook and they're getting
Correct.
lifted off. And the bigger DJs who are playing, like, I see Bob Sinclair every day, and all these DJs, Carl Cox is playing. So many DJs are playing. Hardwell played, David Guetta played,
Right.
These DJs are not told anything. Their music is never lifted off. They don't own the copyrights. They can even buy the companies. They are so rich.
Correct.
And now when the people who are, trying to entertain people so that they can stay at home, and these people are blocking them. Isn't it that, we are telling people to stay home? So people should be given an excuse to stay home. But what about DJs? What they are doing? They are giving their heart and soul to you free at your doorstep.
Correct.
At least people should respect that. And
Right.
respect meaning it's not about only your friends coming, watching, enjoying. That is not called respect. Respect is the copyright. People should say, now we are relaxing this rule. This is not the time to earn money.
Correct.
Even if we want to buy the copyrights, also we cannot buy. Now, how do we buy?
Right. Right.
So I feel that this should happen. Now, what I am doing, I'd like to pass on to the other DJs is I'm experimenting with my sets.
Right.
Now, because of these copyrights, I have come up with an idea where I'm going to have live performances happening on my set.
Okay.
So I'm going to have cover bands.
Okay.
Cover bands, so that that we don't have a copyright. There's somebody put a nice video, and this is a band which is playing in Australia or UK, which is doing exactly a copy of the original song. So
Correct.
I'm going to download those videos, recondition them, and play them in my sets. That is my plan.
Okay.
The cover bands. It's like watching a band.
Right.
At your house.
Right.
And then there is no copyright problem because that is not owned by any of the copyright.
Correct.
That is what I'm doing.
Right.
And then I'm trying to play different sets. The other DJs can also use these ideas. Like I'm doing a diva set. All the ladies of the past decades, they are one night, where you'll find a diva singing or a diva in the video, because I do video nights. So what I'm trying to tell everybody is that, try and experiment. Don't only play that same thing. Okay, that's number one. Number two is talking about presentation. What we said, that I told you that I also have to change a bit on my this. What I feel that a few of the DJs they are not bothered about how they are looking in the video or the background. I feel that they should change that, boss.
Okay.
Because what is happening is a few of them are doing that, and DJs are getting a very shabby impression.
Right.
They should change this. It's not that you are bad, whatever, but it's always good to have a good presentation.
Correct.
Because DJs have their best friends, their rich friends, poor friends, their bosses, their clients on their Facebook.
Right.
They see you like this, and how you show yourself outside.
Correct.
I'm not. Trust me, I'm not telling you in a bad. I'm not telling everybody in a bad way. I'm just telling you professionally. What you should be doing. It's very, very important.
Correct.
So that a person doesn't judge you how he sees you on the video.
Correct. Right.
That's very bad. You go like fully dressed up, and then in your video on Facebook, you're wearing a singlet. All your chest hair.
Right.
No, that's not the way you should be showing yourself. Yeah. Yeah, the world is seeing you now because they don't have anything else to do.
Oh, well, that's one way of looking at it. Yes.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this information will be used in a very positive manner, and I hope that a lot of people look at improving their craft, improving their presentation, the way that you have, looked at it and are working on it.
Again, I want to send this message to all the DJs. I'm telling you, if you want to learn Ableton, it's very important. Okay, go on the Ableton site. You're going to get it free for 3 months, full version. 3 months is enough for you to learn. I'm telling you, go forward. All the DJs, my love to you, my encouragement to you, my blessings to you, my prayers for you. And there is a site called www.udemy.com. Udemy.
Udemy, right.
www.udemy.com. Over there, you get all those tutorials. There are training courses on that. You can learn almost anything in the world. You want to sing,
Right.
you want to learn Ableton, you want to learn Fruity Loops, you want to learn anything. Just go on that site, and it's they are selling at a price of like approximately 500, rupees for the course. It goes up and down.
Right.
700 sometimes comes to 400 sometimes. But go and buy those courses. This is the time you're never going to get it back.
Correct. Wow, lovely. I mean, if anybody really wants to improve their craft, I think, like you said, yes, this is the time. And thank you so much for sharing all of this information, because a lot of people do say that this is what you should do, this is what you should do, but there's never a means to, people don't really end up sharing the means to achieving that. So what you've done is very, very good. You've shared, very relevant, pertinent information that people can use. And I think a lot of people will be thankful to you for that.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure catching up with you, Bobby. I wish you all the very best.
Thank you.
Amazing catching up with you, Bobby. All the very best.
All right. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.